Hey everyone, welcome to a midweek chat with Jasmine. I'm your host, Jasmine Bryant, your brand visibility coach, helping women over 40 who are coaches, speakers, network marketers, and small business owners get over their own BS and get on camera, be visible, make some money. Okay, quick soapbox. Now I'm off. All right, so today I am coming to you from a very snowy Florida. I mean, never thought I would put snow and Florida in the same sentence, but here we are. I have the weather of our lovely guest, Regina Andler, who is in the northeast of the US and is used to this craziness that we have going on here. Welcome, Regina.
Thanks for having me here, Jasmine. I have to say, you may actually have more snow on the ground right now than we have.
It's so insane. It is so insane. I tried to make a snowball this morning. It's more ice. Like the snow is it's a lot more ice than it is like fluffy snow. So I made a snow rock and a snowball.
Don't throw that at anybody.
Yeah, exactly. So, Regina, I am going to tell our audience a little bit about you, and then I want to hear you tell us more about you. So Regina is an AI-empowered business strategist who helps coaches and consultants attract more clients by teaching them how to build a unique business and create unique marketing content that helps them stand out from the crowd using her unicorn factor methodology. And unicorns are my spirit animals. Just gonna put that out there. So Regina, tell us just more about who you are and what the unicorn factor is.
Well, I got some news that I can share with you, and you were the first person to hear it. You and your people are the first people to hear it. I just literally got the unicorn factor is now an actual registered trademark.
Congrats.
As of today. Yep.
That is awesome. Congratulations. It's a wonderful feeling, right?
Yeah. So, you asked, what do I do? I call myself an AI empowered business strategist because I love using AI and I have a tech background. And so when all this AI stuff started coming out, of course, I was all on top of that because, total geek. And so it saves so much time. And, what you said about it is that's what I really do is I help people differentiate themselves because when I started this business, I call this my retirement business, by the way. I've had multiple businesses over the years, some brick and mortar, some multi-level marketing businesses. I've you name it, I've done it pretty much. And right. And so when I started this business, I said, this is going to be my retirement business. This is going to be the last one. And so I started doing business consulting because that was what I kept falling back into. So, you start a business and you're doing some stuff and there's something that you just naturally gravitate to. And so I kept falling back into business consultant. I said, you know what? You're a business consultant. Go be a business consultant. So I said, all right. Yeah. And when I really started focus on business consulting, the business consulting piece, I started doing a lot of research and I started seeing something and it was a total pet peeve of mine. And the pet peeve was I kept seeing all these mini-me's. I kept seeing all these other business consultants that were out there, and some of them like big gurus that were training all of their people to be exactly like them. They dress like them, they talk like them, they send out the same emails, they just change their name on it. I mean, everything, templates, you name it, all look exactly the same. I got to the point where I could actually tell who trained who. I could get an email from somebody and go, oh, I know who trained that person. And it was crazy. Yeah. And I have been a unicorn fan for many, many years myself. And I was actually at a mastermind with one of my mentors. And we were sitting there talking about it. And I said, I got this pet peeve. I'm on my soapbox talking about how it drives me nuts that everybody looks like a mini-me. And I can't stand that. People need to be unique. They need to be themselves. They need to be authentic. And as we were talking about it, literally, it popped into my head. I said, they need to find their unicorn factor. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I like that. That's where the unicorn factor was born.
I love that. That is a great story. And I love that, so I'm in a mastermind and we were talking about this kind of the same thing yesterday. someone was trying to come up with a name for their business. This is their retirement business as well. And they're just having the hardest time. And we're like, it will hit you. And I love that you're like, I was just having a conversation and this came out of my mouth. And I'm like, holy crap, this is it. You know?
That's exactly what happened. It was like, talk about aha moments, right? It was like, it's the unicorn factor. And it was like, I am so using that. That is perfect for what I'm trying to do. And, it's all about standing out, being you, being authentic.
And that's what unicorns do. That's their superpower.
It is.
know? I tell people, I'm like, I'm sparkly like a unicorn, but I can stab you too. So just like,
yeah, I got both sides. Don't mess with the unicorn.
right? I'll play with kindness. And then, but we get dark. But I love unicorns. And I love that, they stand out. They're unique. They stand in their own power. And they're like, this is me, love me or leave me,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, especially with businesses, if, I work with a lot of coaches and consultants. And when you think about it, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands, millions of coaches and consultants out there. Mm-hmm. And so it doesn't matter what industry you're in, chances are pretty good there's a lot of other people doing exactly what you do.
There you go.
And if you, walk like a duck, quack like a duck, guess what? You're a duck. And if somebody's picking a consultant or a coach, whether it's a health coach, a business coach, a speaking coach, there's so many different types of coaches.
Yeah.
Whether, if they're trying to pick you from this group, they start doing a Google search. Hey, I'm looking for a great business coach. And they find 15 business coaches and they start narrowing it down. I got 5 business coaches and they all look and act the same. Now they're picking you based on who's the cheapest.
Yeah.
Nobody cares anymore because there's nothing that makes you stand out. You're not stepping into your superpower.
Yeah.
Talk about your unicorn. So I tell people it's all about finding your inner unicorn. So it's that thing that makes you unique, because every single one of us, we have a unique story. We have a unique set of experiences. We have a unique set of skills.
Yeah.
And when you go and get trained by a mentor who's saying, nope, stay right in this box and do it exactly like this, you're missing out on all of those things that make you you.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you stand out from the crowd.
Absolutely. I tell people that all the time. And anyone who's watching, if you are not new to my world, then you've heard me say time and time again, there are thousands of people who do exactly what you do, but you are the reason that you will stand out. You are the reason someone will choose to work with you. It doesn't matter what you do, what you sell, what service you provide. It's you. And like Regina said, people will go and they'll do a Google search looking for whatever it is that you do. If you sell shoes and purses, they're going to look for, pink party shoes, and they'll have 50 pink party shoes on page 1. They're going to go with the cheapest if they don't know that there's something that's unique about that particular pink party shoe seller. So.
And that's exactly right. People just are out there, and there's so much information out there. Mm-hmm. When you think about it, I mean, Facebook alone has over 3 billion with a B active profiles.
Yeah.
Crazy. And there's over 3 billion pieces of new content put out on the internet every single day. When you talk all the social media channels, whether it's email or whatever, there's over 3 billion pieces of content. So we're only seeing a little itsy bitsy tiny bit of it.
Yeah.
So how do you make sure that you're the piece, that you're the tiny bit that person that you want to see what it is that you do? How do you get that in front of them?
Exactly. It's a loud digital world. And so you have to shout in your own way so that you can be heard and you can be seen. And so how do you help people find their inner unicorn so that they can be seen and they can show off their uniqueness?
The very first thing I do with everybody when I start working with them, it's usually before I start working with them, is I have them do a mind map. So I'm guessing you know what a mind map is. Some people might not know what a mind map is.
Yeah,
Really
so let
super.
everybody know, just in case.
Yeah, it's really super simple. Take out a sheet of paper, put a circle in the middle, and what I do is I tell them write skills in there, and then you put lines out from that circle, and on each line you put a different skill. All of the skills that you have. Now, most people go, oh well, I'll take like a computer person for example, because I can relate.
Because tech.
So I can fix computers, I can get rid of viruses, I can build computers, I can do technical project management, and they fill in all of the practical things, all of the hard skills that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they leave out the soft skills. And it could be you have soft skills that you don't even realize that you have.
Yeah.
And I'll actually give you a perfect example in a second, but I'm talking about those things like communication, listening. I actually go through my mind map, my skills mind map all the time. I look at it all the time because I'm constantly going, oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. I could totally use that because there's things that you don't know about. Well, I tell people when you get done with whatever you put on your mind map for your skills, go ask your 5 closest friends what they think your skills are. Now, it took me, let's see, 4 years doing this particular business before I actually realized, after numerous clients made the comment, and they said, Regina, I really love what you do because you break down really complex things into really simple to understand ways, and it totally makes sense to me. That's a skill. I didn't actually realize I had it because it's one of those things I just do. And so when you think about your skills, it's not just those practical skills that you have. You might be a health coach. Oh, I'm really good. I'm a really good nutritionist. I can do this. I can make meal plans. I can do, these are the things that you can do. Those are skills. And how you come across, how you put them out there, your listening skills, your communication skills. You might be really good at creating courses. You might be really good at social media. There might be other things that you don't think of necessarily as skills because you just do them naturally. And that's why I always tell them, go out and ask those 5 people who know you best. Ask them what they think your skills are, because chances are pretty good you're going to hear some stuff that you never even dreamed of. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess I do that. Huh. And it's those things that make you unique.
Yeah, and that can be scary for a lot of people to put themselves out there to ask that question, what am I good at doing? But I feel like once you do, it's going to open up so much of your world personally and in a business sense because it's empowering.
It is. And it is literally those things that make you unique. They make you stand out because there's not one person walking the face of this earth that has the same exact unique skill set that you do.
Yeah.
And when you find that little golden nugget skill that you have, and you're like, wow, I didn't know I did this. Oh, wow. So I use that now in my marketing stuff. I talk about it when I'm doing posts and that kind of thing. It's like, how do you break down something really complex and make it simple? Because it's something that I didn't even realize that I did, but I do. And you can use that then in your marketing and use it to make you stand out from other people. Because when you think about it, there's a lot of people who do what you do, and look at them. How effective are they? What is it that they're not doing that you're like, oh, if they just did this just a little bit different, they'd be so much more effective?
Yeah.
And you think these things because you actually have that skill and they don't. Otherwise, they'd be using it. And you're like, you know what? I do what they do. It was like, I am totally using that. That is a great skill.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, you have to know who you are so that you can tell everyone else and show everyone else who you are. So
Stand out from the crowd.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. AI. I want to talk about AI before I let you go here today, because it is such a treasure, but also such a trap. Right. And it's funny when you talked about the mini me's that you've seen from folks who've been coached by, other people. A lot of times, and I could be wrong, but I feel a lot of times when I'm looking at people's content, because as someone who creates a lot of content, I look at a lot of content too.
Mhm.
I'm looking at something and I'm like, ooh, Claude wrote that.
Mhm.
ChatGPT wrote that. Looking at some like the PLR ebooks and things like that, I'm like, ooh, that was just taken straight from the internet. So, how can a coach, how can a consultant take AI and use it to the best of its abilities without losing themselves? And I mean, because it can save so much time and so much energy, but it can also tank you if you suck at it. So, what's your go-to to help people kind of get over that?
It's actually funny because I wrote a book. I published a book last year. It's called The Unicorn Factor: Demystifying Marketing Content to Set You Apart from the Crowd. And there's only one little section in there
Mhm.
about unique content in AI, because unique content in AI. And the first line says, unique content in AI, oxymoron? Because you think about that with AI. And like you said, I kind of caught on there that you could just pick out AI content all day long. You're like, oh, Claude wrote that, ChatGPT wrote that. It's really evident. It comes down to, do you actually know how to use AI? It is a tool. It is not meant to replace you writing your content.
Yeah.
It is a tool to use to help you write your content, to help you streamline the process, to make it faster. And the key is in the prompting and what you tell it.
Mhm.
So I always tell people when we first get started with AI, I said, talk to AI just like you were talking to somebody sitting in front of you. Say that you've just hired a new VA, you hired a new employee. How would you ask that employee, that VA, to do what it is that you want it to do,
Mhm.
want them to do? That's what you're asking AI. Now,
Yeah.
chances are pretty good if you have a live person that you're working with, you're not going to say, okay, well, make sure it is in fourth grade reading level, make sure it is in the tone casual friendly, make sure it's this. There's pieces. So the four main pieces of a good prompt are: you give AI a role. First, you tell it who it is. AI is just, it's it's not a person,
Yeah.
it's a machine. So the first thing you need to do is tell it who it is. So if you want to write, uh, a marketing piece on, say you're a nutrition coach and you want to write a marketing piece, a lead magnet maybe, on something, some freebie that you want to give away. The first thing you're going to tell it is to tell them that act as if you are a world-class nutrition specialist.
Mhm.
So that now it goes, okay, I know who I am. All right. And then you tell it, give it some context. What is it that you want it to do?
Yeah.
Make sure you give it some context. Now, if it needs additional information, now you want to give it the additional information. So you could say, I'm creating a lead magnet for my audience of individuals who are women over 50, who are all looking to lose weight. And I want the lead magnet to have something about nutrition in the later years. I'm making this up as I go on. And so now you can go in and say, you can give it more information and tell it, and these people are this, they're postmenopausal, they're this, they're that. And you could like put the whole thing in there and just like give them all kinds of information,
Mhm.
put as much context in. The more information you give AI to work with, the better response you're going to get from it.
Yeah.
And then you give it guidelines. How do you want it formatted? Do you want it in a bullet format? Do you want it in a paragraph format? Is there a certain number of words you want in it? Do you want it the tone you want it in? Do you want it professional, casual, friendly, whatever? Yeah, there's all kinds of different tones. You tell it what tone to be in. Reading levels. Reading levels are really big. So a reading level, if you tell AI the reading level, you get much better responses with less AI jargon if you pick the
Mhm.
right reading level. Because if you don't give it a reading level, you're getting AI jargon all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crucial, and it's this, and it's that, and all these words come out. If you say keep it in a fifth grade or a fourth grade reading level, all of those words go away, and they use simpler terms,
Mhm.
instead of putting in all the AI stuff. Now, I literally was just using it not too long ago. So I was working on a blog and I told it what I was looking for on the blog. And I forgot to put some information in there. And so I got the first result and I was like, yeah, AI, yeah, Claude, I know you wrote this. So then I went back and reprompt and put a second prompt in and I said, can you please rewrite this without all the AI jargon?
Yeah.
That was all I said. And it rewrote it and it said, oh, okay, I'll write it in simpler terms. And I was like, thank you. And then now I've got this piece. Now I'm not taking that piece and saying, okay, copy, paste, I'm done. It doesn't work that way. And that's where a lot of people get tripped up. They're like, okay, done, post. No. It's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Use it as such. Go in now and put your unique stamp on that. Chances are pretty good if you prompted it right, you got a great layout, a great format, and great information to start with.
Yeah.
It doesn't take more than 5-10 minutes now to go in and go, okay, yep, I'm going to reword this a little bit. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to do this. Now you're done. So it made the process that much quicker. However, you got your personal unique stamp on it now. And it doesn't sound like AI because you made sure it didn't.
Exactly. Because you really do. I mean, number one, I hope you guys caught that and you're writing down notes, but number one, you want to train your AI. You know, it's one size fits all until you tailor it. Mm-hmm. So you need to train your AI, as Regina was saying. And then once you've trained it, and basically you're training yourself too along the way. But once you train it, now you take what it's given you and you need to go in and finesse it so that it's you. Because Regina and I could put in the same prompts, you guys, and we'll get this almost the same copy. And what, we're going to send it to our audiences and people say, that doesn't sound like Regina. That doesn't sound like Jasmine. So you have to finesse it, make it you.
And you were talking about that because, talk about mini-me's, right? So the whole AI revolution has created a whole new level of mini-me's. Mm-hmm. Because if you even do any kind of AI stuff, if you're out on social media, say you're out on Facebook, you start getting all these ads about, hey, download these 1,000 AI prompts and do this and do that. Well, if everybody's using the same prompts, guess what? You get the same results. So you need to pay attention to what it's giving you and then flip the switch and put your own stamp on it. Even those, now I'm not saying don't download some of those prompts. I download a lot of those prompts and then I edit their prompts for me. Because I'm like, oh, that was a great start to a prompt. I'm just going to put in the stuff that I actually want.
Yeah. And I have because I have a guide. I'm one of those people who has a guide with, however many AI prompts for your coaching business. And in there, I say you need to tweak these prompts and make them fit you and fit your business and what you want. It's a great start, but it's not the end all be all.
Exactly.
Yeah, more.
Yeah, AI cannot create unique content.
No.
So AI is going to create whatever it is you tell it to create. If somebody else tells them to create the same exact thing, guess what? They're going to pretty much get the same exact thing. It might be a little bit different. It's going to be pretty much the same though, which is why you need to actually pay attention to how you're prompting. You can create unique content with the right prompting.
Yeah. And that's a skill. That is definitely a skill. Yeah. And from all the content that I see online, not everyone has that skill. Okay. So we're out of time, but I had so many more questions I wanted to ask you. So I want to ask you two last things. So one is, are there 3 action steps that you would tell a new entrepreneur that they can do today to help them stand out and really embrace their unicorn factor? And while you're telling us that, I'm going to put in the chat here in the comments the link to your gift for your Facebook content blueprint.
Awesome. So those 3 steps would be the 3 things you need to do before you even sit down to write any piece of content. And that first one is do that mind map. Do that mind map and identify what your unique skills are. Because when you pull that out, that is really the essence of who you are. And the next thing is your story, because everybody has a unique story, a unique set of experiences, unique set of training, unique life. And that plays into every single thing that you do. So a lot of people discount their story. They're like, my story is not all that impressive. Trust me. Even if you say your story is not that impressive, there's some impressive stuff in your story. Trust me. There's stuff in there that other people don't have. And then lastly, you really need to identify your unique audience. A lot of people are still trying to talk to everyone, and everyone is not your client. You need to narrow it down. You need to identify that unique client that is the perfect person for you. So
Absolutely.
those would be my 3 things. Start there.
I love those 3. So your mind map, your story, and who are you telling it all to?
You got it.
All right. So if we're going on a road trip, Regina, someplace where there's no snow, what are our snacks?
What are our snacks? Well, I'm a big trail mix nut kind of fan, so I'm probably eating but they have to have some chocolate in them, because I do like my chocolate. So they have to be like maybe pistachios and almonds and cashews with some chocolate in it.
Okay. So a little sweet, little savory, little
Exactly.
down the
A
middle.
little salty, savory. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, Regina Andler, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing the unicorn factor, which you heard it here first, my friends, is registered. Woohoo!
Yes. Woohoo! Thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed our conversation, and I really hope people, are taking away some good nuggets here, because AI can be your friend as long as you know how to use it, and you have to be who you are. So,
Do your mind map.
Yeah. And I love that. And I'm really intrigued that you go back to what you've done. And so I think I've done mine and then just kind of put it away. So I think I'm going to redo that.
Yeah, revisit it.
Yeah. Thank you. I love learning new things and being inspired to do something else. So Regina, thank you so much. And we will see you guys next week. I'm not sure if I'm doing a Friday live. I'm supposed to be traveling on Friday, but with this snow, maybe not. We have no snow plows. So I don't know what's going to happen when it melts and refreezes, because it's not going to get above freezing in Florida. All
That's
right.
crazy.
I know.